Have you ever believed in something so deeply and that thing made absolutely no sense to everyone else around you? Well, in today's episode, we are talking about the power of what the world calls being delusional and why sometimes trusting God means being okay with looking absolutely insane. I have been watching this dating show for the past couple weeks, and there are these two people on there that some of the fans really wanted to get together. It's like we are almost at the end of the season, and these fans have just been rooting for these two people to come together and be a couple since day one. And because we're almost at the end of the season, some of the fans started to call this group of shippers delusional and started to tell them to get over it. And if you don't know what a shipper is, basically a shipper is someone who really influences and really wants a couple to get together or stay together. But to get back on track, so basically the people who are rooting for these two people to come together are technically shippers. So the other fans that don't fall into this category, they're not rooting for these people. They don't really see a spark with these people. They are calling the shippers delusional and telling them to get over this little desire that they have for this to happen. So in the very last week of the season, these two people that the shippers have been wanting to get together finally gets together and becomes a couple. And I just remember like when it's happening, social media blowing up. And I remember going on YouTube and reading some of the comments, and there were people like, dang, I really got to eat my words because I was calling y'all crazy. I was saying it was never going to happen. Like I feel stupid, this, that, and the third. And I remember because for this specific reality TV show, I watch a lot of reviews on YouTube, which is people who basically review the show and give their input. And there was this one reviewer where she had been team these two people since the beginning of the season. And she said something that just really stood out to me. She said, "We saw the vision before everyone else did." And then she said, "Y'all called us delusional, but it was delulu until it was true." So as I'm watching this video, it dawned on me that sometimes you have to be delusional and you have to be okay being on an island by yourself in order to get something that you truly want. And I know that some people are going to push back on this because when we think of the word delusional, we always think of it in a negative way. In my story, the people that were calling these fans or these group of shippers delusional, they were saying it in a very negative way towards them. Like, y'all are tripping. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are insane. Y'all need to get over this. It's never going to happen. Stop talking about this. Stop hoping for this. Stop wishing for this. Just move on. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. They were saying it in a very negative way. But if you actually look up the definition of the word delusional, it means a person who believes in things that couldn't possibly be true. It means that you believe in something that's not touched in reality. It means that you go against what logic and evidence is saying and what logic and evidence is showing you. And it means that you act in a way that seems crazy to others. Now, as we looked at that definition of what delusional is, I hope that you realize that it is everything that God has called us to do. Let's go over it again. Delusional means a person who believes in things that could not possibly be true. But God tells us to believe in the impossible. He tells us to not go by what we physically see, but by what we believe in our hearts. Delusional means to go against logic and evidence and go against what that shows you. But God told us not to go by what we physically see and go by what we trust and believe in our hearts. Delusional means to act in a way that seems crazy to others. But God calls us to act in ways that are out of our norm, to act in ways that we are not used to act in ways that we were not raised up in, to act in ways that our environment told us to never do, to act in ways that will make people look at you and question, why are you doing it? To make people look at you and question, are you okay? To make people look at you and question, are you crazy? Think about this for a minute. Let's say that you were raised in an environment where they told you the only way to success is through a 9 to 5. You have to get a job. You have to go to college and get a career. That is the only way that success will happen for you. But God is calling you to branch out and step into entrepreneurship. So your environment told you to get a 9 to 5. Everybody around you has a 9 to 5. Everybody around you has seen success through their 9 to 5, but they see you working a business. They see you working something that hasn't taken off yet. They see you working something that's not producing results yet. Don't you think that they will look at you and that they will feel like you are crazy? Don't you think when they confront you and they ask, why are you still working towards it? It's not working. Why don't you just give up? It's never going to happen. Why don't you just stop and go get a job? Why don't you just do things our way? And you stand firm in your delusion and you say, no, it's going to happen. No, it's going to pay off. No, I'm going to see results. No, this is going to fund my whole family's life. No, this is going to work. When you respond to things in faith that go against things that evidence shows is the opposite, don't you think that people are going to look at you like you are crazy? Let's say that you were raised in an environment where baby mom and baby dad culture is very normalized. If you are a baby mom or a baby dad, I am not critiquing you. This is just an example, okay? But let's say that you were raised in that type of culture where people have children without being in a fully committed relationship or in a marriage, right? But you have this mindset where you feel like you want to be married first. And now you're getting older. Now you're in your 30s. And everyone in your environment is questioning, why don't you just go have a kid? Why are you waiting for marriage when you don't have a man? There's no man in sight. Aren't you getting a little older? Isn't time running out for you? Like, why are you holding off and potentially risking this never happening just so that you can say you were married and you had a man and there's no man? You haven't dated anybody in 5 years. Like, why don't you just do it our way? And then you make the decision and you respond and you say, God's going to bring my man. I'm going to have multiple children. My children are going to be very, very healthy. My children are going to come after I am married. Don't you think to these people that you will look insane and that you will look crazy? Faith is literally the definition of delusion. When you go against the things that everyone around you told you was not likely to happen for you, you are going to look crazy and delusional to them. And a lot of us aren't okay with that because we truly value how we are viewed to our peers. We truly value how we are viewed by our parents and by our family. And so when they don't have a positive response to the things that we are doing and the things that we are pursuing, it makes us want to give in to what they're saying. It makes us want to do things their way. It makes us want to people please. But like I said in the beginning of this episode, just like in the story that I told you about this dating show, this show has been on for over a month. People from the very first episode has been shipping these two people to be together. They looked crazy. They looked insane. They looked like they were just wishing and hoping for something that was never going to happen. They were called delusional. They were called crazy. They were told to just get over it and give up on it. But they were okay standing on that island by themselves. And you have to be okay standing on this island by yourself. You have to be okay not getting the approval of others, but knowing that it is enough to have the approval of God. You have to be okay looking crazy to other people. It is okay to be delusional because delusional people win at the end of the day. Delusional people are some of the strongest people out there. Do you know how strong you have to be to have everybody's opinion coming at you and attacking you, and you stand firm on what you believe? Do you know how strong you have to be to not only have people's opinion on what you're doing or what you're thinking, but they have an opinion on you to the point where they're calling you names, to the point where they think they're better than you, to the point where they're looking down on you? Do you know how strong you have to be to have all of that coming at you and you still stand firm on what you believe? Do you know how strong you have to be to allow your beliefs and your desires to overpower other people? Delusional people are some of the strongest individuals in the world. And so, in my opinion, we need to aim to be delusional. Because remember, you're only delulu until it turns true. And as you're listening to this, and as you make the decision to walk into delusion, I don't want you to make the mistake of thinking that delusion takes away discouragement. I'll give you an example. Let's go back to the story of this dating show that I was watching. So, you know how if you have a TikTok account, TikTok has an odd algorithm where sometimes they'll show you a very old video. So like, let's say today is, I don't know, July 12th. They'll show me a video from like June 30th today. So, okay, after the two people that these shippers wanted together got together on this dating show, that same night, I had got a TikTok video that was very old. It was weeks old. It was a video about these two people on the dating show. And when I was reading the comments, all of the comments were old too, because they basically commented when this person first, posted the video. So boom, I was reading the comments, and one of the old comments said something like, "You guys, I don't really think this is going to happen. I can't hold on to this ship any longer. I just think we need to just give it up." And so I clicked on the responses to that comment. And apparently I was not the only person who seen that video that night, because somebody responded to this person the same night that I seen the video. And they said, "We did it. It happened. We didn't need to give up. It came true." And in that moment, I realized that delusion does not take away discouragement. I know I explained to you that delusional people are some of the strongest people on this earth. I know that I explained to you how beneficial it is to be delusional, and how delusional is believing something that goes against logic and evidence. But just because that is the term and that is something that you should do does not mean that it will be easy. It does not mean going day after day and not seeing any sign that what you are believing for will come to pass. It does not mean that that gets any easier. It does not mean the temptation to give up does not come up. There are going to be moments on your journey where you get more than just people telling you that it's never going to happen. There are going to be situations that tempt you into believing that this thing will never happen. Let's go back to the example of this dating show that I've been watching. These shippers have been believing for these two people to get together for like 5 weeks of us watching this show. Around week 3, these two people were forced to get together, and they kind of said, we're not really feeling it. This kind of feels more like a friend vibe. That right there was a situation that would have tempted these shippers into believing you're just being crazy. It's not going to happen. They already said out of their own mouth that this is not a romantic vibe. This is a platonic vibe. This is a friendship vibe. But here we are 2 weeks later of them deepening their connection and getting to know each other. And this time around, when they tried, they said, you know what? We kind of have a friends to lovers situation. We started off building a friendship, but then it really turned into a romantic thing. And the thing that people were hoping for happened in the end. But my point is, if you were to just look at that situation that happened the first time, where they tried it the first time and they said, no, this is not it. No, we're basically just friends. This isn't going to go anywhere. That situation would have tempted you to believe that your delusions would never happen. So don't think that just because you make the decision to be delusional, that there will not be situations that tempt you into believing what you want will never happen. I want to give you some examples because I want to make this as real to you as possible. Let's say that you met a partner, right? You've been praying for marriage and God allowed you to meet someone. Now, as you were dating this person, God spoke to you and God revealed to you that they were your partner. They were your spouse. They were the person that you were intended to marry. Now, God expects you to be delusional and he expects you to hold on to that, right? So let's say that a tempting situation happens where you and this person have a disagreement and you guys break up. You guys cut things off. You're no longer talking. You're no longer in communication. Like y'all are done. It would be so tempting to take that situation as a sign as they're not the one. It will be so tempting to take that situation and say, maybe I should go date someone else. Maybe I should go pursue someone else. But you have to stop giving into these tempting situations in these moments where it looks like God said no, where it looks like God closed a door. These are the moments to pursue harder and get even more delusional. Remember, the definition of delusion is going against logic and evidence. In this situation, this person breaking up with you, cutting you off, this, that, and the third is logic and evidence that it is not meant to be. But you have to hold on to what God told you and be delusional and trust in it until he brings it to pass. In these situations, I do want to give a disclaimer. You only want to be delusional on things that God said yes and confirmed to you. Because let's say God did not tell you that they are your spouse. God did not tell you that they are the one. If he ends that relationship, you don't pursue it harder. You don't chase them down. You don't keep praying for God to bring them back. You go to God and ask him to bring the person that he wants for you. But this only works when God confirmed the thing to you. This only works when God said yes to you. This only works when God revealed this to you. But if he didn't, don't be delusional about it. I also would like to add, in a scenario where, let's say, God confirmed to you that someone was your spouse and he broke you guys up. When I say be delusional about this person, I do not mean harass them. I do not mean blow their phone up. I do not mean not respect their boundaries. I simply mean, like when I say be delusional, in any scenario, you stand firm on something that God told you. You pray about it. You continue to believe for it, and you continue to have faith. But I am not saying in any way do things that are very dangerous, do things that are very scary, do things that fall into the category of harassing people. When I say be delusional, I want you to do it in a very healthy way. We don't want to be overly delusional about something where we miss what God actually wants to bring us. If you're not sure if this is something that God wants, keep going to him for confirmation. But to get back on track, we got to continue pursuing our delusions in tempting situations. If people can do it for a dating show, then you can do it over the thing that you have been pursuing God on. And so what I want you to do to make it easier for you to walk in delusion is to hold on to the small things. Like I said, when it came to this dating show, these shippers have been wanting these two people together since episode 1. And these people did not come together until the very last week before the show ended. Now, they had that little hiccup where the two people tried and they kind of felt like, this is more a friend thing, like it's a friendship vibe, but they still held on. Some gave into discouragement, some were still delusional. I remember there was a cast member who did an interview, and that cast member was there, and they basically, like, the person who was interviewing them, they basically asked, like, what do you think about these two people getting together? And the cast member looked at them like they were crazy, like, them two? I don't see it. They give friend vibe. Like, I don't know. I don't see that happening. And I remember opening the comment section, and the comments was, la la la, I can't hear you. And then somebody else was like, why isn't there any sound on this video? Like, they were being funny, like, since you're saying something that I don't want to hear, I'm pretending like there's no sound, like I didn't hear that. So they were like, yeah, la la la, I didn't hear anything, I'm closing my ears, why isn't there any sound on this video? And it's just amazing to me. Like, I know some people, they look at delusion and calling people delusional as a negative thing, but I think it's very inspiring to be this level of delusional, to the point where somebody is telling you something. Somebody who was in the house with these people that you are shipping is telling you, I don't see it. And you're like, I'm gonna close my ears, I didn't hear that. And I just feel like, if you can do this for a dating show, then you can do this for anything. You can do this for what you're pursuing. The same way that they refused to listen to anything that did not match what they believed, that did not match what they wanted, you have to do the same thing. When the devil is speaking to your thoughts and your thoughts are not matching the things that you desire, your thoughts are not matching the things that God confirmed to you, you got to have an attitude of, I didn't hear that. Why was that thought silent? Let it go in one ear and out the other, and keep believing for what you want. When the people in your environment, your friends, your family, like the people that you love, they come to you and they say things that don't match what you are trying to do, it doesn't match what God told you, you have to have that attitude of, am I deaf? Why didn't I hear you? Like, you're talking, but it's like no words came out. Like, you're letting it fly off your shoulders because you believe in this thing that much that you are willing to disregard what anybody said. Even if it seems logical, you are willing to disregard what anybody said to believe what God told you. We have to be delusional. These shippers on this dating show is a prime example of what it looks like to be delusional in a healthy way. I got way off track because I was supposed to tell you something that you could do, and that popped in my head, so kind of got distracted. But the point that I was making before that, I basically said they went the whole season, right? These shippers, they went the whole season wanting these two people together. These people tried to make it work, didn't work the first time. You had people in the house who were basically doing interviews, and they were saying, like, I don't see that happening. Like, that's crazy. Never going to happen. And despite all of that, the entire season, these shippers will watch the show and they will pull clips of signs that these people liked each other. So there was like moments where it was really cute. There was moments where, like, the guy, he would like go to the girl and like help her down the stairs. There was moments where, like, he would look at her and his whole face would just light up, and they would pull these clips and they would turn them into edits where basically they put a filter on, put all these clips together, add some cute love music, and they would post it on Twitter, TikTok, this, that, and the third. And they would keep watching these clips. Like, people would say that they were spending hours watching these clips. And in my opinion, they were holding on to these signs. And these signs were fueling their belief that this thing was not non-existent. This thing was actually going to happen. There was something there. The same way that these people held on to signs to fuel their belief and look delusional, you have to do the very same thing. You might not have gotten, you might not have gotten the full blessing yet, right? But you have gotten some minor signs and some minor details that proves that this thing is going to come true. You have to look for those things and hold on to them, no matter how small it may look. Some people may look at the edit videos that these shippers made and they may feel like, girl, all he did was look at her and smile. Like, why is that? How is that a sign? There might be things that to other people, they might look at that sign and feel like, are you serious? That's what you're holding on to? It doesn't matter. Hold on to anything that is proof that what you are believing for is going to come true. One thing that I learned years ago is that there is no such thing as a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason and everything happens for a detailed purpose. If it's happening, it's not because it's a coincidence. It's happening because it's in a bigger picture. That minor detail that you overlooking, that sign that God sent to you, is sent for a reason because it's preparing you and it's showing you what's about to happen in your life. Hold on to signs and use those signs to fuel you until that thing that you are praying for comes true. If you are unsure, like what would be a sign from God, let me know, because I am debating if I should do a separate video going over how God gives us signs and things so that you know what to look for. Let me know if that's something that you want. But yeah, hold on to signs and allow those signs to fuel you until that thing comes true. Because remember, you're only Delulu until it comes true. But the main thing that I want you to take away from this episode is that I know your journey has been hard. I know that it feels like everything is not coming together. I know that it feels like you're on this road by yourself. I know that it feels like you're crazy, like everybody's looking at you like you're insane, like they don't understand you. I know it feels like nothing's happening. I know it feels like it's too late. I know it feels like you want to give up. You want to go for something that seems more logical. You want to go for something that seems more likely. I understand. And I want you to understand that those feelings are completely normal. But it is very important that you do not give in to them. One day, you're going to look back and you're going to realize that you're not crazy. You're not insane. You're not stupid. You were early. Remember when I said when this couple got together, I watched this girl's YouTube video and she said, we saw the vision before everyone else. You see the vision before everyone else. And the reason why is because God knew that you had what it takes. If God felt like this person had what it takes, he would have gave that vision to them. He would have gave that vision to your mother. He would have gave that vision to your friend or your boss or your coworker, but he didn't give it to them. He gave it to you because you are the one who has what it takes. If he knew that that was a person who was supposed to help fuel you on this journey to get to what he wanted, he would have gave them a snippet of the vision so that they could help you. But if they are not helping you, if they are not supporting you, if they can't understand it, then they're not someone you want to listen to on this road. The vision is for you. And God is saying, hold on to it until the very end. Because the vision always comes before the blessing. The vision always comes before the actual result. You are not crazy. You're not stupid for still holding on to something that's not working, still holding on to something that doesn't seem like it's happening, holding on to something that feels like it's getting worse. You are early. And the longer you stay on this road, the closer you are going to get. And so that is all that I have for you today. Before we go, I do want to give you a weekly action step so that you can do this and you can start moving into your delusion. So sometime this week, I want you to create a delusional folder on your phone or on your laptop. In it, I want you to collect every minor sign, every bit of encouragement, and every moment that supports the very thing that you believe in. This is your evidence that what you are seeking is going to happen. This is your evidence that what you are seeking is coming to you. Remind yourself every time you feel discouraged, every time someone speaks negativity into you, remind yourself you are not crazy. You are committed. But that is all that I have for you today. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you subscribe so that you get a notification every time a new episode is released. Also, leave a review and let me and others know how you enjoyed the show. And if you want to stay connected, follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Prospering with Christ. But that's all I have for you today, and I will see you next week.